People, what up? We got some more leaks. But like I said, y'all, we literally just went through the September Datamine yesterday. Today's October Datamine. We got all these little ugly looking Carnage looking, Venom looking, fake Spider-Man looking guys that I don't know nothing about. But apparently they're being added to the game. So we gonna, spend some time talking about these. Y'all grab a snack, like I said, because we gonna be going in depth. And before we even get into it, y'all, be sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, we're doing a tournament. We hit 2K subs. Now it's time for the tournament, man. Y'all join the Discord. Sign up for the tournament. There's a $75 prize pool. I'm probably going to make a whole nother video, letting everybody know that this is going on. But yeah, y'all got until Friday to sign up for that. Get ready for it. And with that said, let's get it. So we got 6 new guys, right? We're going to start with the season pass card, Agent Venom. Big agent. So 2 costs 4 power, right? And no, you know what? Let me just get into the ability as well. On reveal, set the power of all cards in your deck to 4. This is great, you guys. This is great. Obviously the first thing, set all your cards to 4, Cerebro 4. That's something we all think of, right? But I mean, there's a lot. That's not even the only reason why this is a good card, right? So obviously you're able to run Cerebro 4 a lot easier, right? But 2-4 as a stat line is really good, you guys, because I mean the only cards that are really stronger than that are or as strong or stronger than that are Lizard, who could go down to 2-1. I mean, obviously you got White Widow, who's really like a 2-5 because of the Widow's Kiss, and I mean she's probably the strongest, right? So we got that. But I mean, other than that, at 2-4, you kind of really only have Lizard, that's stronger, White Widow. It's a couple that I'm forgetting, but then you got Cloak, who's a 2-4. You know what I'm saying? And then you have what's her face, Colleen Wing, right? So just being able to get 4 points on turn 2 is a big deal, because like I said, a lot of 2-cost cards are weaker than 4. Are weaker than 4 power, weaker than 4 points, right? So that's one. So we got Cerebro 4. We got just being a strong card. And you know what? I also like this because, it's kind of similar to Bass as well. But I think it's actually better than Bass, because you want to play this early, right? Bass, obviously, you could do some Cerebro 3 stuff with Bass. You can do some, negative stuff with Bass. You could do some cool bounce stuff with Bass. But the thing about Bass is, it's 1-1. Whereas, so it's like you're making all your other cards like the 3 power, but Agent Venom is 4 power, and he's making all your other guys 4 power. So he fits into like the Cerebro archetype better than Bass. He has the opportunity to benefit more cards than Bass does, because we know Bass, they have to be in your hand in order for the the 3 power change to take effect. Whereas if you get this off on turn 2, what you're looking at 9 cards that you're going to be changing to 4 power immediately. On top of that, y'all, you don't even really necessarily have to run Cerebro. You can, let's say you got your Agent Venom, right? You're using some sort of a Luke Cage build. Obviously, you could go like a hazmat route or something like that, right? But you're using a Luke Cage and Agent Venom on the same deck, right? So you can set all your weaker guys, you know what I'm saying, to 4 power, and then Luke Cage can just negate the the negative aspect of his ability, right? Because I mean, let's just take a look at all the cards, right? I got it sorted by like power. So obviously you don't really want to run the goblins with them unless you're trying to make your opponent win. But let's say, you know what I'm saying, you got your Mr. Negative, your Sunspot, Sage, Mystique, right? Iron Man. All these cards are going to benefit from him, right? And then if you just want to use some stronger cards alongside it, right, and you're afraid that you're gonna hit them, like, I don't know, you're running something with Scar, right? Just use Luke Cage, you get your Scar back to 11. You understand what I'm saying? You Luke Cage, you get your Spider-Man 2099 back to 2099, back to 9 points. So it's not even that, it's just the Cerebro archetype that it benefits, right? Like, you run this alongside Luke Cage, you're gonna be able to do a lot of cool stuff with it, right? Obviously you could run some Wong, You know, throw Agent Venom onto a Wong deck. Boost your Wong, first of all. Boost your Mystique. Boost your Ironheart. Boost your White Tiger. Boost your Arnim Zola. Right? Boost your Hazmat because you already got Luke Cage. Boost your Luke Cage. Right? And then Luke Cage, you know, he's gonna make sure that you're not negatively impacting, you know, your Black Panther. Right? You're not negatively impacting your actually Black Panther is already 4 points, so it's not even negative, but not negatively impacting, you know, your Odin. Every card that's over 4 points, right? So I mean, this is really good, y'all. It's very versatile. Obviously, if you want to use it in a lot more versatile, like I said, you're probably gonna have to run Luke Cage alongside it, but Luke Cage is a good card that, you know, can fit into a lot of different decks, and it's just gonna make for a lot of very interesting stuff, you know, for Agent Venom. I think I talked about negative a little bit, but obviously, you know, that's the backup plan. If you can't get your negative, at least you could set your Iron Man, your Ironheart, you know, your Mr. Negative itself at 4 power, and then you're good like that, right? So all those reasons make this a great card, and that's why I like it. I think it's a great season pass card. Really tricky, very interesting, right? But that's enough on him, y'all. Let me know what y'all think of Mr. Agent Venom. Cause up next we got this is this a man, is a woman, is an ugly creature. How about that? 5 cost 10 power, Misery, right? Misery. On reveal, repeat the on reveal abilities of your other cards here, then destroy them. This is a tricky ability, man. So I wonder, do you have to destroy them in order for Misery's ability to take effect? Because if you don't have to destroy them, then you can just put down armor, for example. Put your on reveal card, you know, in that armor lane, Misery, and not only do you prevent yourself from destroying your other on reveal card, but you prevent your Misery from getting Shang-Chi'd, and you get your, you know, that other on reveal card ability to activate once again. It's very interesting. But if you do have to destroy them and that, like, that armor type stuff doesn't, you know, isn't an option, then I see this card, you know, fitting perfectly into a you know, the electro, you know, ramp type stuff, right? Where you have, obviously you want to be using electro, you know, cards like Jubilee, right? Where, you know, you kind of just using those 2 cards to you know, be able to get your bigger guys out, right? So for example, you could do Electro turn 3, you get 5 energy on turn 4. Stay with me, y'all. Misery on turn 4, activate your Electro again, kill it, right? Get rid of the drawback that Electro gives, where you only have to play 1 card. So now going into turn 5, stay with me, y'all, you have 7 energy, right? Because you would have had 6 from Electro, but you activated Electro again. So now you got 7, right? So now on turn 5, you can wave and Jubilee because you have 7 energy. That's 7 points, you know, 7 energy. Wave Jubilee, right? Pull one of your big guys out with Jubilee. And then turn 6, you get 2 6 cost cards because you got 8 energy. You put wave down on turn 5. And now your 6 cost cards cost, you know, 4. So you get the Odin leader, Dr. Doom and Odin in the same turn, Magneto. You know what I'm saying? It fits perfectly into that, you know, into that type of deck, right? And so, you know, I think it's very interesting in that sense. I can't really think of anything is gonna work with outside of that. Also, I'm not even exactly sure if it's better than, you know, just like using Electro Blink. But, you know, if you can't use it behind armored, that's my immediate thoughts on like the best way to use it. I'm actually not even sure that, you know, you really want to use this on a destroy deck, because obviously, you know, the on reveal cards in the destroy deck are Carnage, Venom, Deathlock, Arnim Zola, right? Chances are you're going to play your Arnim Zola last, so you're not going to be able to Misery your Arnim Zola, right? Also, do you really want to destroy your Carnage and Venom? Because most of the time you want to Arnim Zola your Venom, right? to, multiply your Nimrods or just give extra power in that lane, right? And you don't really want to get rid of that 8 points from that you got from Carnage just to, get 10. So I mean, it might not fit in the, the typical destroy deck, but outside of that, like I said, y'all, you gonna if it does work behind armor, you're gonna be able to do a lot of cool stuff with that, or just mainly use it on that the electro type stuff. And I think that's fine, bro. I think that's pretty cool. But y'all let me know what y'all think of old ugly Misery, bro. Very interesting card, though, I will say. Because up next, man, we got Anti-Venom. Big Anti-Venom, 4 cost, 6 power. On reveal, set the cost and power of your deck's top card to 0. I have a similar feeling. Like you probably want to run this with some Luke Cage type stuff, right? Because if you use Luke Cage, then it's really just making the next card in your deck free, right? So I mean, that's just great, right? I think this, it fits in any type of deck. However, I will say you probably want to definitely want to use like some Psylocke and Zabu to best take advantage of it, right? That way you can get it out early, on turn 3 cost, 6 power. Your next card is gonna be free, right? I could see it being I could see somebody using, or myself using this on a like some interesting like lockjaw, my bad, some lockjaw type of stuff. But I mean, this ability isn't, it's not deck specific, right? So you can really, and that's what I like, man. Like we just went through, I guess the spider. Y'all know I don't know the lore, bro. Y'all know I don't know the comics, but we just went through like the Spider-Man cards, and a lot of them had, abilities where you're not forced into using them in one deck. And I feel like Anti-Venom is the same. Agent Venom is pretty similar to them in that sense. Misery, obviously, it's not, but I think it's pretty cool. But I mean, this is just solid, y'all. I think it's a good stat line, right? It's interesting, man. I feel like, a lot of the cards that are coming out are getting so strong where I feel like they're gonna have to buff like all the old guys, right? Like just the simple thing I said about Agent Venom, the simple fact that it's 2/4 and it does so much. It's like, all the old cards are, kind of getting power crept, right? Power crept out of the meta, know what I'm saying? Like in that sense that like all the cards that they're releasing over and over, all the series 5s are just stronger, right? Like I mean, like we use White Widow for an example, right? She was 2/6, now she's 2/5, still stronger than everything that was previously released. But I mean, that's my thoughts on Anti-Venom note. I can't really think of a specific scenario right now outside of the the lockjaw stuff that I just mentioned. But I mean, that's because like I said, it's not specific. It's just good for a number of different things. Obviously, you don't even have to have Luke Cage on the board as long as you're able to, make use of the next card for its ability rather than its power, right? So, you know what I'm saying? You don't even have to, like Ironheart, for an example. She already has 0 power, so a 0 cost Ironheart, that's just great, right? Or White Tiger, she's only 1 power, so and you really use White Tiger for the tigers. So I'll take away, 1 power for a free White Tiger, which is a free 8 points, right? Very interesting, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Up next, we got Toxin, right? He looked poisonous. He looked dangerous, right? Big Toxin, 3 cost, 2 power. On reveal, return your other cards here to your hand. +2 for each return. So +2 power for Toxin for each card that you return into your hand. You got a lane full of 3, that's +6. You got a 3 cost, 8 power. See, this is what I'm talking about with the power creep stuff. Like Cassandra is 3/7 naturally. We got Toxin. We had Gladiator, who's 3/8. We got Toxin, who's 3/8. Like what about all my old school guys, all my all my 3/5s, my 3/3s, right? Even Wolfsbane caps out at 3/7, right? So I mean, we got a free 3/8 toxin, right? That works. It has some cool synergy with like that bounce type of stuff, that collector, you know, type decks, right? Hit monkey type, all that type of stuff. Where Angela. I mean, we know the archetype, right? Where your Kitty Pryde, you bouncing cards back and forth between your deck, maybe boosting your Angela, maybe boosting your collector, that type of stuff, right? Getting your on reveal abilities. It's basically beast, but it powers itself up. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. We probably gonna see it in those decks, or those type of decks, most likely, like the hit monkey type stuff with beast. The collector. I literally just said it, right? So maybe it is not gonna be used, in a, or it probably doesn't have. It has the potential to be used in a variety of different ways, like all the other spider cards we talked about yesterday, like anti-venom, like agent venom. But it's probably gonna be, relegated to one type of deck. I mean, I think it's cool. It's basically beast, but it's just like an alternate version of beast. Obviously, we know beast makes the guys cheaper. Toxin makes yourself stronger, but you just get to play the cards again, right? Like, it's nothing too crazy, but I mean, I think it's good. Y'all can let me know what y'all think of it. I don't really have much to say on Toxin outside of that, but we do got two more of these ugly dudes coming up, and the next one is Scream. 2 costs, 1 power. When an enemy card moves, steal. When an enemy card moves, steal 2 power from it once per turn. Bruh. Man, so we did say how move decks were gonna be crazy thanks to the cards that are coming out the season before this. But man, you run Kingpin, you run that Kingpin Scream combo, you good. Right? You good. You got Scream on your deck. You should never lose to Phoenix Force ever again. I wonder does she steal the power before the cards move? Like, for example, if your opponent does Iron Fist into obviously the Human Torch, if you get your Scream out, before they play down, if you get your Scream before they play their Human Torch, y'all, do you just set it to 0 and then make it useless? Right? Very interesting, man. I think this is solid, right? Like I said, you probably just gonna mainly be using this on the Kingpin type of decks, right? I don't really see much use for it outside of a Kingpin deck, because a lot of strategies don't really implement, like, I guess, anti move cards that are punishing your opponent for moving your guys all, or for moving their cards all over the field. So I mean, you probably definitely gonna see it with Kingpin, Polaris, Magneto, Juggernaut, that type of stuff, Stegron, right? And I mean, it's cool for that, right? Because I feel like that archetype it's not complete. Like, you can't run a complete deck of anti-move cards yet, but now you can, because I mean, obviously you have the cards I mentioned. You can Spider-Man, you can run a hybrid, right? You can run a hybrid, right, with Spider-Man, Kraven, Miles Morales, that type of stuff, but you don't really have a dedicated 12 that just say ain't no movement going on, and if you move, you lose, right? So I like her for that sense, right? It's pretty cool. Y'all know I like that type of archetype. Y'all know we team wide body, team Kingpin. But I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about Scream. Y'all know what y'all think of her. Last but not least, we got, she probably the ugliest. Hold on, let's look at all of it. I'm not gonna lie, misery might be the ugliest, but we got the second ugliest in Scorn. 1 cost, 2 power. When you discard this, Give its power to one of your cards. Broken. When you discard this, give its power to one of your cards in play. Return this to your hand with +1 power. I don't know. Why? Don't do it, man. Look. So look here, y'all. Obviously, discard decks, are gonna get much stronger because of this. The you obviously you have your basic discard where you got your Morbius, Dracula, Apocalypse, but then you got your other type of discard with Helicarrier and the Collector. I think she might benefit that version of the discard deck. Obviously, she's gonna work in any form of discard, but I think she's gonna benefit that version of the discard deck the most because you're potentially boosting your Collector like twice in one turn, right? Because let's say you got your Collector, you discard your Scorn, you give +2 to somebody. Let's say you get +2 to your Collector, and then she comes back into your hand. So that's +3 in the Collector. You discard her again, you give +3 to somebody, and then you get the +1. See what I'm saying? Like this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. Obviously, the way to counter those type of cards is gonna be obviously we got Red Guardian to turn off Morbius, to turn off Collector, to turn off what's his face? I keep forgetting Dracula. It's too many cards, y'all. I can't think of everything on top of my head. But obviously you got Red Guardian to take care of those guys. And of course you got Rogue and stuff to take care of Morbius and stuff like that. But I just think this might be crazy. The discard, it is interesting because I feel like the discard, the cards you're forced to use, like you have a list of cards that you're pretty much forced to use no matter what. Like for example, if you're running like a typical discard deck, like you must use Morbius. First of all, you must use Dracula, you must use Apocalypse, right? You must use MODOK, must use Proxima, right? You must use Blade. So it's gonna, you're forced to get rid of somebody, right? And you already have like a pretty like set list of guys that you already want to use. But I mean, if you're missing somebody, Scorn is just gonna be the perfect card to add to your discard deck. For example, you're missing the Black Knight, you're missing Proxima, you're missing MODOK, right? Because those are past series 3 cards, right? But I mean, this is great. I think this is gonna be out of control, y'all. I think Scorn is gonna be out of control, man. But as far as like if I gotta rank them for how strong I think they're gonna be, like in order before we wrap up here, I probably say let's do it like this, right? So I think, let's say, and by the way, you guys, before you even rank them, take note of this, y'all. These are all series 5. 6,000 tokens, or you spend the key, or you're forced to spend the key, right? So because these are all series 5, I'm really hoping that we get some series drops at some point, because if they just keep releasing series 5 cards, you know what I mean? Like how do you really expect like players to be able to use them, because you can't afford them, right? So if we can't get these, drop somebody down to series somebody else down to series 3, so that I could at least have a new toy to play with, right? Hitmonkey, for example, he was series 5. I think he's series 4 now. Just go ahead and put Hitmonkey to series 3. He's been out over a year. I've been playing since before he came out, and I still don't have him, right? So I just wanted to take note of that. But if I gotta rank these guys in order of strength, I'd probably say like Anti-Venom and Scorn, I'd probably say are the strongest. And then I want to go like Toxin and Agent Venom, and then probably say like Misery and Scream last. But I think Scream herself is very good, and so I don't think there's any trash coming out basically. But I think Scorn and Anti-Venom, in my opinion, before we even, obviously months before we even get to play or see any of these cards, played, I think those two are probably the strongest. But we gonna find out, man, in a few months. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. As always, like I said, y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 3K subs. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.